Hi again, it's Bonet. I hope you're doing well and welcome to another video. I figured that another video that's kind of quick to do and still fun and interesting would be another favorites video. I can update you all to just share with you some favorite things in different areas of my life that have just been inspiring and encouraging and helpful in my day-to-day walk as a young lady seeking to serve God and to keep Christ first in every area as much as possible. So again, like last time, you all can share some of your favorites below too, and I pray that you all are blessed. So this will be like a favorites for February to April since it's been so long, so I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, so first I will start with healthy habits, okay? God, the Bible tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and also that God desires that we prosper and be in good health even as our souls prosper. So, our bodies are a temple of God and we are to keep it and glorify God through our body and our spirit, which is His, right? 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20 tells us that. And so to take care of our bodies and our health inside and outside really shows how much we appreciate the gift of life that God has given to us, and that Christ died for us to save us, and that we want to live healthfully to serve God and to share His love with others. So what I'm going to do is share a couple of things in this category that I've really been loving the past few months, and I will start with hummus. Hummus is so good. My sister and I have been loving hummus. We've been traveling a lot. When we moved, we went away for like a convocation. We've been traveling a lot, and hummus is a healthy, delicious dish that you can bring in a container and just put on some bread, make a sandwich with crackers. Like, it's just so good with rice, noodles, anything almost. Any grain, and it's delicious. So basically what hummus is like chickpeas, olive oil or another type of oil, lemon, garlic, and then there's different flavors, and we love the sweet roasted red pepper flavor of hummus, and you can see this is hers. Her name is on it. I love hummus. It's delicious. It's a healthy source of like protein, and it's delicious. So I recommend it. You can even dip vegetables in it, crackers, sandwiches. It's awesome. This next thing I believe is my favorite, definitely my favorite fruit in the whole world, and maybe it's like my favorite food in the whole world too. My family heritage includes being Jamaican, and this says it all. Mangoes! I love mangoes so much. I've loved mangoes since I was a child. So good. And one of the ladies here, her husband works at the academy, and she's so sweet. We become friends, and she came by one day. She's like, "Oh, I have a gift for you and your sister." And she gets this carton thing, and it has like 8 mangoes in it. And I was like, I literally wanted to cry. I was like, besides prayer, this is like the best gift you could ever give to me. And they're so good. They're so sweet. Mangoes are just a wonderful source of good, healthy, natural sugar, and it's so good. Try a mango. If you're trying to get off of like white sugar and sweets, unhealthy processed sugars and stuff like that, you should replace it with healthy sugars, healthy sweets, natural candy that God has given us, the original candy. And mangoes are one of those fruits that I think you'll really enjoy to help you cut off of the bad sweets in your life. Okay, the musical moment section. I love music. Music is truly a gift from God, and Satan definitely tries to use music and uses music to distract us from heavenly things and to distort our way of thinking and to keep us from holy, pure thoughts. But sacred music, elevating, ennobling, pure music that glorifies God is so sweet, so beautiful, and I just love how God has been teaching me and has taught me about music and how we can use it to help us heavenward and against discouragement, when we're down, just to sing a song that lifts you up and reminds you of the faithfulness of God. It's awesome. And so I want to share some music favorites of mine that I think will encourage you too. And I might play a bit of a song for you. A friend recently shared with me an artist and her music by the name of Abigail Miller. So thank you, Talika, for sharing that. I really enjoy her music. There's a song called A Vessel God Can Use, and I love it so much. I'll play a little clip. It starts with a cute little girl's voice. It's sweet. When he needs someone to serve, who will he choose? Empty, cleansed, and ready, his service to do. I want to be a vessel God can use. And then it like goes into comparing like us as being vessels for God to like a tea kettle or teapot that sits on a shelf and doesn't get used at all, but it looks pretty. And then there's a teapot that's on the stove and it's pretty worn. It's not really for show, but it's always there to be used when someone needs it, and it's beautiful. Then there's another song I really like. I like all of them, called Glorify Yourself in Me. And basically it's talking about how, Lord, you said if Jesus be lifted up, he'll draw all men to him. So please lift him up through, or show him through me to others, so that men may be lifted up. It's beautiful. Helpless on my own, any glory from my life is for you alone. If you are lifted up, you will draw men, so draw men through me. Let Jesus' holy name through my life be proclaimed. Let Christ be all that others see. Lord, glorify yourself in me. I love it. So Abigail Miller, check out her music. It's just beautiful, sacred Christian music. I'll put a link here or on below and you can check that out. I also have been really loving music from a family called the Neblett family. They have a wonderful ministry, and I'll share more about their ministry in another section, but I've heard their music before in the past. Pardon me. And I recently was able to get it again, and I got it on my for my own computer, and pardon me. And the music is so uplifting. It's a whole family. They sing together. They have many different albums, and it's modern, sacred music. The words are so meaningful. It's beautiful. Some are instrumental, some have words, and I love it. So I'll play a clip for you of a song, and I'll put the link down below to their website and the link where you can actually listen to samples of their albums, and so you can kind of have an idea of what it's like and what you would like to listen to. This is a instrumental for like a holiday album, and I love this one so much. It's just so nice. It makes me happy. Ready? My favorite part is coming up. Right about now. It's just so nice. So that's from a holiday album. And then this other song is called Bow the Knee, and I recently played it from my computer for a special music I was teaching in Sabbath school. I was sharing a message in Sabbath school, and for those of you who may go to church on Sunday, Sabbath school is like Sunday school, but on the Sabbath, and so I was sharing a message, and I was responsible for planning the morning service, and so much was going on in campus, and I wasn't able to get special music, and I was like, well, this song matches perfectly with the message I want to share, so I'm going to play it from my computer. And one of the girls came to me later, and sometimes she'll struggle with singing a secular song or something that pops in her head, and she'll be singing it in the hall, and I'm like, don't sing that, you know, and you know, it's always good to have something better to replace it. You can't just empty them and say, don't do all these things. And she came to me one day, she was like, what's the name of that song you played at church? and I was like, bow the knee. She's like, can I hear it again? It's been in my head all day, all these days, and like when I'm usually singing secular songs, and my friends realize I keep singing this song, can I listen to it again? And I was like, yeah. And basically it's about you know, when you have no answers, everything doesn't, you don't know what's going on, bow the knee.
Bow the knee, trust the heart of your Father when the answer goes beyond what you can see. Bow the knee, lift your eyes toward heaven and believe the one who holds eternity. And when you don't understand the purpose of His plan, in the presence of the King, bow the knee.
Okay, so that's just some of my music favorites from the past few months. Well, those two actually, different artists, have been like very recent, this past month, and I've just been really blessed by their music and encouraged. And also playing my violin. I've been getting back into playing violin, and now that we're settled more, like my sister's been giving me some more lessons and just refreshing, and it's just, I always tell my sister, I tell people, like, if I never get to be like professional, like violinist, that's okay. I just, you know, I want to be able to open up a hymnal, be with a group of people and have worship together and just play heavenly music with a group of people. To harmonize and make music of praise to God is like amazing to me, and it's like, and it's not from you, it's like another thing that you're using and outside of you, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. So I love playing violin too. Okay, nature, recreation places. There are a few from the past 3 months. I have been loving mountains where we are living. It's like we're on top of a mountain, and then there's just mountains everywhere, places we've traveled, and it's just so beautiful to see all the trees on the mountains, and it's just a wonderful testament of God's power and His might. Also birds, there are so many birds around where I am. Like, I'll take a little clip of you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna show you. I just look outside of my window, and this is what I see. Okay, this is beautiful. But right up here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a part of the roof, or underneath that roof, that's kind of slanted down. I think there are nests in there because birds are flying in and out of there all the time. And I'll wake up in the morning and the birds are singing and they're chirping. And like there's an auto shop, and the students learn like auto mechanics, and then there's like a wood shop and just different shop kind of areas for work. And in one of the places there are a bunch of birds that come in. It looks like a huge shed in a sense. It's like really, really high, and like cars go in there or just other things from campus that need work or something. And there's all these birds in there, and they're called barn swallows, and they're so beautiful. Just today I was walking outside and one was just like gliding like right by in front of me. It kept gliding, bright like blue on the back with like a rustish color and white, and they're so beautiful. I really like barn swallows. So I love birds. Birds are one of my favorite types of animals. I don't know if I have a specific favorite type of bird, but I like birds. The other day, a couple of students actually, well, one of the students, he came to the dean's apartment, he knocked on our door, and he showed us, he had a bird in his hand, and so, but then the bird hopped out, but it couldn't fly, so it tried to fly, but it fell, and I'll probably insert a clip now, somewhere around here, but it was so funny, but then it couldn't get back to its nest, and I felt so bad, so I don't know what happened to it, but I like birds. So birds have been a wonderful part of nature that I love, and it's amazing how God He keeps them singing, you know, and it's for us too. Yeah, like it's for us to enjoy. It's awesome. Places. I recently went with my sister to Heartland Institute, Heartland College, and that's actually the college I was thinking about going to before. It's a wonderful school from what I see, and the students there are awesome, and the staff, and we recently went for like a spring convocation, and basically it's like a meeting, and people come from all over, and there's special speakers, and the same family that I mentioned with their music was there, part of their family, and they shared about the family, like family life as Christians, and like how God desires to use the family to be a witness of his love, and how he desires to restore families and the pain and damage that, you know, sin has caused and selfishness. And it was just really awesome. But I loved being at Heartland. It was a wonderful experience, and I have some dear friends there, and my sister and I loved it. So yeah, I loved going to Heartland. If you want to look it up, I'll put the link here. They have wonderful missionary projects they're working on, and you're like, if you can, definitely donate to help them. They want to have like a midwifery like center, like a pregnancy center, I believe, like to help women, especially those who may be younger and in more difficult situations with their pregnancy and so forth. And they're really using it as a means to minister and to witness to these young women about Christ. Like, it's such an entering wedge, you know, to meet more souls for Jesus and to help them hands-on and to be there for them. So that's a project, and I think they're trying to like restore some buildings, like for a lifestyle center, like a health center, to help people to regain health by the natural laws of health that God has given us, to have a healthier lifestyle and to glorify him through our lifestyle and have clear minds to connect with him. They just have wonderful programs. So check out their website, and I think you'll be blessed. Also, okay, Ministering Friends, almost done. Ministering Friends, I'm going to share this same family that I shared with you before, because they really have been a blessing to me and my sister and my family, like recently, as you've been hearing different messages that they've shared, or the messages that they shared at Heartland when we went on the family life, and how God can change us and restore us and so forth. And they have sermons, like it's a family, mom, dad, and children, and they're older, the siblings, they're like young adults, but for some years now, actually, they've been preaching together and on different areas of life, as youth, on marriage, as family, on family life. And the messages have been so beautiful and so encouraging. And so they actually have a website, the same website where you can like find their music. They have sermons that you can download and listen to, and they're so encouraging. And there's sermons for different areas of life. Recently, I've been listening to some, to the ones under the youth category, like specifically aimed to the youth, whether it's on the battle for purity, or music, you know, music, they're awesome. There's so many different categories, different sermons. So I would recommend checking it out. They're really encouraging, very practical, and I think you'll be blessed. So their family ministry has been a blessing to me as well. Okay, last but definitely not least, if not this is the best that I've saved for last, is the Bible bit section. Just really, really encouraging Bible verses or passages that God has used to really bless me and to teach me as I grow by his grace closer to him and to be more like him. And Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9 has been one that really has touched my heart. And I actually got this t-shirt from Camp Basaba when we went in Michigan. It says, "Be his story," and then on the back it says Proverbs 16 verse 9. In a little bit more modern version, it says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." Proverbs 16:9. King James says, let's see, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his step." And that's really interesting. It says a man's heart plans his way. Like we kind of, in our heart, we kind of just say, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But it's interesting because the Lord just impressed me with this. The Bible says, you know, our heart is desperately wicked and deceitful above all things. Who can know it? You know, we can't trust our heart. That's why in Proverbs, God says, trust in me with all your heart. Trust in God with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path, right? And I just got this at a perfect time, this t-shirt. And I was just praying and thinking about a lot, and I was just feeling a lot, kind of feeling overwhelmed a bit, tempted to feel overwhelmed. And I was like, Lord, you know, some things I don't understand, but please teach me, please help me to get through this time and to just trust you, you know, and just fully surrender. Sometimes we feel like we're really surrendered, but God was just showing me an area of my life where it wasn't like totally surrendered, you know, where everything was just like, Lord, whatever you want. I cannot plan my life. I can't have my own ideas of, even if it's in ministry or good things, like, you direct my paths. You know, like, I never planned to work at an academy as a girls' dean. It was never in my plans. And, you know, everything is like Lord, I don't know what you have in store, but I trust you and I know you brought me here. And it's just been beautiful, a beautiful experience of surrendering to him and letting him use me as he desires. And but this verse just means something to me. It's like, we can try to plan our life, but it's God who really directs our steps. And if we let him, he's the director. He's the one that will show us what to do, and we will follow, and we will be so blessed. So that is a reminder to me to let God lead. Another favorite verse is Psalms chapter 16, verse 8. And I actually like the whole passage from 8 to 11 actually. But verse 8 is like the main one that sticks out to me. Verse 8, it says, I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. And I think that's like one of my new favorite like verses, because basically it's like a promise, it's a guarantee that if you keep God before you and everything always, with him by your side, with him before you, behind you, next to you, beside you, nothing can move you. You will stand firm for him. You will stand for Christ, for the gospel, no matter what, because God is going before you. He's behind you. He's beside you. He's with you with everything. And that is just a precious promise to me. It just applies to every area of life, no matter what you're going through, no matter where you are, no matter what's happening. If you keep God before you, when you wake up in the morning, you're spending time with him. Throughout the day, you're speaking to him, you're meditating on him, you're serving others, you're loving, you're sharing Jesus with the world. At the end of the day, you're closing with him and sharing with him your day and asking for forgiveness and pleading for a higher walk, whatever. Just when you keep God before you in everything, your schooling, your work, your relationships, your family life, everything, you will not be moved. Satan will not tremble you. He cannot. It's so powerful. It's such a precious promise, and it gets me so excited, and I love it. And then the rest of it, I'll read the whole thing now. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. And it is so sweet. David is like, because you're always with me, and because of that I will not be moved. I'm glad. My heart is glad. I'm rejoicing. I can rest in hope, which is found in you, Lord. And you will not allow me to be forsaken. You will not leave me, and I will not see corruption, and you will show me a path of life. God, you will show me a path of life, and in your presence is fullness of joy. And I remember hearing a story of a man that was like being persecuted for his faith, and well, basically they were persecuting him by persecuting his family, by like killing his family members because he was a Christian. He was a pastor like in an area that wasn't Christian, and I believe this was somewhere in Africa. And I know that's pretty broad region, but yes, it's a whole continent. But I heard this story, and I think it was somewhere in Africa, and basically like someone interviewed him and was like, how do you feel, you know you're losing your family for your faith? And the man was like, in Jesus my joy is constant, or my joy is constant. And it was like, when I heard the speaker share that, I was like, wow. God says, in my presence there's fullness of joy. David speaks praising God, in thy presence there is fullness of joy. Even if you're in a lion's den, if you're in a dungeon because you're falsely accused, like Joseph, or sold into slavery from your own brothers, right? And then your parents were told that you were killed, and you're separated from your beloved family for all these years, and then you're falsely accused on top of it after working so hard and put into dungeon for all this time. But you still have joy in God. Your family's being killed because you're serving God, and your joy is constant. Why? Because in God's presence there's fullness of joy. God is everything to us. He's love. He gave his only son. Like, I am so excited. I'm so excited. I'm just happy for God's promises. But that has been so encouraging to me, and truly it has become like my favorite passage. It's a reminder, Vonet, if you keep God always before you, you will not be moved. If you claim his promises, if you have faith in the righteousness of Jesus to save you, to change you and transform you, and you will not be moved. You will be glad. You will have hope. You'll be able to rest. And in God's presence, you'll have full joy, no matter what. It's amazing. So that's another awesome Bible passage that I've been loving. But basically, these are all of my favorites, or some of my favorites from the past few months. There's too much to name. But God is so good. I pray that any of these favorites may be an encouragement to you if you check them out. And again, please share down below what yours are so we can encourage one another as we journey home. And I pray that you have a blessed rest of the day. And until next time, may God bless you and stay close to Jesus. Bye.